You won't believe what happens next. The little boy suddenly appears, and the glasses guy rushes in to save him, but ends up getting hit by a car and is totally flattened. What a shocking three-quarter and now all the evidence points to the hotel owner. How hilarious. So she's tied again. The boss urgently claims innocence. The cops ask about the body in the fridge. He replies, I'm not the owner. Her name is coming from here, and the other day she hit the jackpot in a town and thought, why not come here for a job? Only to find the boss was already face down on the desk. Talk about desperate times call for desperate measures. She hid the body in the fridge and pretended to be the boss. What a genius move. She initially planned to make some quick cash and leave, but oops, things escalated. Coming from here is pleading she's innocent, but the cops are clearly skeptical. What a plot twist. Just to be safe, the cops decide no one can leave the room. If nobody else has an accident tonight, she might just walk away with her innocence intact. How generous. So the remaining people are stuck in a real-life game show with no choices left. Before long, the cops realize something's fishy. She walks into the reception and finds the hit woman has checked out, calls John to come see. Coincidentally, John never thought she'd end up dead too, and now he feels guilty for the crash. What a dramatic turn. Suddenly, the cop picks up a room key and hands it to John. It's labeled number 6. Things are getting more and more bizarre. Previous victims were 10, 9, and 8. Puzzle solved. Now no 7 but 6 appears curious. Anna reminds everyone not to forget the glasses guy who got hit, so they all rush outside and sure enough, they find number 7 in his pocket. It's like everyone is frozen in shock. If this is sequential killing, the glasses guy and woman clearly had accidents. How could anyone predict this and place the tags on them ahead of time? Mystery level 100. Moreover, everyone was just chilling in the same room. The girlfriend starts suspecting ghosts are doing the dirty work, and John realizes staying here could lead to more deaths. What a revelation. He quickly tells the girlfriend to take the kid and drive as far as they can. But this causes a major uproar from the cops. What a dilemma. John explains that they're innocent, and just then a loud explosion shakes the place. The cops rush in with fire extinguishers. What a chaotic scene. After putting out the fire, the cops discover the car is completely empty, no bodies. This is so illogical. But the weirdness doesn't stop there. Everyone is baffled that the glasses guy's body has vanished into thin air. How does a corpse just disappear? They rush back to the room only to realize all the victims' bodies have also vanished. What in the world? Even the starlet's head is missing. Everyone is utterly speechless. How do you explain this? Poor Anne can't take it anymore. She shouts that she's surrendering and begs to be let go because next week is her birthday. Upon hearing this, Coming From Here suddenly says, that's your birthday next week, and it's also my birthday next week. The 10th one, I want it too. I want it too, absolutely yes. Who would have ever imagined that such a scene was merely an extension of this absurd drama? And what's even stranger, as the situation unfolds in an increasingly bizarre manner, especially when John wakes up again. He finds himself in a totally different scene, facing those professionals as a hearing doctors, lawyers, and judges gathered around. Before John could figure out what was happening, the psychologist asks him what's going on and he starts recounting the wild series of deaths at the hotel. Once he finishes, the psychologist pulls out a photo and asks if he recognizes the person in it. John takes a close look and shakes his head, saying he doesn't know them. This is too funny. The psychologist explains that the person is Malcolm, a serial killer, and his violent tendencies might stem from childhood experiences. Not exactly a fairy tale ending. According to notes, the doctor suspects Malcolm has over 10 split personalities. John is totally lost and doesn't get what's happening. The doctor points out that John is indeed one of Malcolm's imagined personalities, and subsequently hands him a mirror. The result is that he sees someone who is utterly unfamiliar to him. John collapses in shock, angrily struggling and questioning if everyone is deceiving him, but the reflection seems to shout, this is real. And then the truth finally hits him. Everything that's happened at the motel was a fabrication of Malcolm's mental breakdown. These people were never real. They're just different personalities Malcolm split into. It's all clearly outlined in his notebook. What a prime example of risk management. Once the shrink figures this out, he realizes that those murders from 4 years ago were likely done by one of Malcolm's violent alter egos. Talk about ghosts from the past. To help Malcolm, he organizes this hearing together all personalities together, a quick little reunion. Only by locating and removing the violent personality can Malcolm return to normal. Then it's off to therapy for some isolation. What a hassle. The psychologist hopes John will cooperate for this showdown, but John is desperately struggling. Talk about exhausting. He suddenly returns to the motel, feeling raindrops on his palms like a dream coming back. Anna hops into the police car to check for a radio signal, only to find the equipment has been tampered with. How tragic. And in a storage box next door, Anna discovers something shocking. There are actually 2 criminals, not just one. Flashback to earlier. One of the 2 apprehended criminals uses a hidden knife to stab the real cop. Unbelievable. He then swaps clothes with the cop and pretends to be on the run, inadvertently explaining why his clothes were drenched in blood. What a twist. Meanwhile, back to the present. When Anna opens the storage room, she uncovers the corpse of the officer. Surprise, surprise. Realizing the truth, he quickly informs Coming From Here. They prepare to sneak out, but the fake cop suddenly kills her. What a frenzy. Desperate, Anna scampers everywhere, completely lost, until John appears. He urges her to chill out, then bravely approaches the fake cop. Maybe this truth really impacted his worldview, and John starts questioning the meaning of life and is quite the philosophical journey. But to fulfill the psychologist's request, he bravely decides to take out the fake cop to what a fearless choice. As they both empty their magazines, John finally falls to the ground. It's a dramatic showdown for the ages. If you enjoyed this plot, like, subscribe, share. See you next time.